Welcome everybody to Nashville SC's press conference ahead of the CONCACAF Champions Cup game in round one against Moca FC. Here with us. We have Nashville SC head coach Gary Smith and defender Shaq Moore. Coach, around the final leg at Geodis the very first international game in CONCACAF at Geodis what do you expect from that game?
Well, there are an awful lot of lessons learned out of the first game, I do believe. A hugely challenging affair in Moca, and I thought the guys did a wonderful job to come away from there with a lead. There's a tremendous amount on the line here. There's no other way of pitching this. A home game against Miami, and what that means to us, especially over the course of two legs, is something that I think both sides will have very much in the forefront of their mind. We're in a strong position, but I don't want to take anything lightly. And I think you'll see with the group that go out there tomorrow, given what we have available to us, that there's a very strong group. There's a lot of experience. And of course, my hope is that we can see this tie out and in good fashion and move on.
Shaq, coach alluded to it, but how do you, how from a player perspective, are you able to preserve that lead and also with the amount of minutes that you all play, how can you tackle that game?
Yeah, like Coach said, obviously we don't want to, take the game, for granted. Obviously, we got a good result away, in the Dominican Republic, but, we still have a lot of work to do. So we're fronting the game, with the most seriousness as we can and, trying to, put it away.
We are now going to open the floor for questions. We're going to start with those in the room, and then we'll transition onto the Zoom. Ben, right, go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, you mentioned wanting to just take the game seriously and put out a strong group. How do you balance that and wanting to continue to build kind of sharpness and fitness coming off of preseason, while also just looking at the busy schedule you guys have in the first month and a half to start the year?
Yeah, look, there's a number of things that play into the equation here. The fact that we certainly have had bodies unavailable to us that you saw at the weekend and are slowly but surely getting themselves back into a better shape. Guys that have already played some very competitive football and taken a lot on board. But, I've always felt that this group have dealt with adversity, adaptation, and have absorbed workload very, very well. We've seen it in the past. I think we're all viewing it. We've just had a meeting upstairs and gone over some footage from last week. But I would hope that everybody's mindset on this one is it's a new game. We've got a Moca team coming in that do have to try and score. But for us, I think to make the night a positive one, to keep ourselves in the right mindset, we have to score. We have to be aggressive. We want to take advantage of our home field. There were some things last week that I thought the guys did ever so well, and we should be able to magnify as we come back home. It sounds like there's going to be a very decent crowd, especially given the circumstances. And by that I mean the weather and the timing of the game. But I do also think that we've got players going out there that want to prove a point, that will want to get on the front foot and certainly have the quality to try and take advantage of this Moca team.
And then Shaq, Moca kind of felt like a bit of an unknown going into the last game. What kind of stood out about them when you played them in the first leg, and maybe what can you take from that first game in the second leg?
Yeah, I would say just a really competitive team. Just the culture going on there. Obviously, you see, off the field, what they go through, so you can see kind of pick up on that. During the games, they fight for every ball, for every pass. They're very physical. So, yeah, we got to, first and foremost, match that. Going into the game, the intensity, and especially opening exchanges. Be ready for that, and then hopefully that'll lead us into the rest of the game and going into a good result.
All right, we're going to transition to Claudio Villalobos. Before we do that, for those in the Zoom, if you have a question for either Coach or Shaq Moore, please use your hand raising function, please.
Gary, you're not known to be one of those coaches that take anything for granted or easy on any team, no matter what the advantage is. However, how do you balance the fact that you're already three goals ahead and against the possibility of perhaps getting more injuries in the team, which nobody needs?
Yeah. If I knew the flat out answer to that, Claudio, then I'd probably be worth an awful lot of money, which I'm not, by the way. Look, I'm looking at it in the most simplest of analogies that we will have heard many, many times before in a two-legged affair. This is the halfway point in the tie. We've come in at half time. We're 3-0 to the good. And the next goal is going to be really, really important. If we can put ourselves into what I would class as really, a very dominating lead by taking that first step forward and getting a good start and a goal, then it will be very, very difficult for Moca. If they are able to put themselves on the score sheet first, then I think it will give them an incentive. And that incentive could lead to a game that we're not looking for and, we don't necessarily need. So from the very outset, it will be a very positive approach. The side that we have going out there is as strong as we can get out there at this point. And I'm hoping that I can make adjustments to that point there on out. And we put the tie to bed. The ultimate view on this is what comes next. We want to be in the next round. We want that matchup against Miami, and I think everyone that's involved with the club would agree with that as well. And therefore, the energy, the positivity, and the intensity of our play is important in the opening exchanges.
Shaq, we just saw you guys and Joe, especially, doing what you did against New York this past weekend, holding a very dangerous team, which is New York, to 0. I mean, it was an accomplishment. But there's something that Nashville is used to do, keeping that goal, no goals. Is that another goal here for this to do the same this week, tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure. Every game, you want to make it, difficult as we can on the team that's coming in, whether that's home, whether that's away. We want to be intense on that side of the ball. That's, always been a strength of us. The other day, I think we did well. Obviously, we give a few chances, but that's going to happen, in every game. So that's definitely, one of our identities, and we want to, keep that going forward.
Thank you, Shaq. We're going to transition onto the Zoom. Jacob James with the Tennessean.
Sorry about that. Shaq, you've faced, similar situations, last season, when the Red Bulls, they needed to win to advance to the playoffs and final game, but, nothing quite like this where, a team needed to win by, 3 goals in the second leg of a cup tie. I guess, what do you expect to see from Moca that's different from what you saw Thursday with them down now 3-0? And how do you prepare for, possibly a different approach that they might bring?
Yeah, I think, a team that's coming with nothing to lose, obviously that's, has its own, little matices that you have to kind of be ready for. A team that has nothing to lose, going to throw air to the wind, going to go for the game. So definitely something we have to be ready for. And I think, just being at home, that should help us a lot. Our field, our fans, everything that's, in our favor. So I just think we need to just take the game as serious as possible and, try to get the job done.
Jacob, do you have another question for Coach? All right. That will conclude today media availability. Moca, a reminder that Moca FC will be available at 7:45 on this same link. So we look forward to seeing you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.